In today's video, I'll be playing a full grand challenge going all the way from 0 to 12 wins using the best Golem deck in the game right now. Let's get started here and try to get the 12. It has been a while since I have done a video on a Golem deck, but Golem Pump has actually been pretty solid in the meta recently, and it has the Evolved Knight in the deck. And as always, like I always say every grand challenge video, even if you don't have the evolution unlocked in grand challenges, you can use every evolution in the game except for the one that just came out. So the Evolved Valkyrie, for some reason you can't use her in challenges, but every other Evo you can, including the Evolved Knight. Some Golem players like using the Evolved Barbs instead of the Evo Knight, but I feel like the Evo Knight is a little better just because it keeps your cycle a lot faster, because Golem already, you have a very expensive deck, and the E-Drag 2 is a pretty expensive card, so I just feel like the Evolved Barbs make the deck quite costly, if that makes sense. So it would have been nice to go for a pump there, but I think we got to get something down for the Giant, get some defense going. And I think now we could go for the Collector now that we have the Little Prince down. And then we can go for our Knight here. The Little Prince, by the way, is still a very good card even after the nerf he got in the last balance change. It's proven to be still one of the best champions in the game. So we're going to pop the ability here. Guardian comes in, and just like that, we defend that Giant Graveyard Push very well. And we also got a King activation, so I'll take it. I mean, at this point, it's looking very nice for us. I mean, when you're playing Graveyard and, you know, you accidentally activate the King Tower like that, you're just in a rough situation. Obviously, that's going to be very good for us. We're going to get another Collector down. I think it's very safe to do that, even though he's got the Little Prince, because we have the King activation, and we have our Evolved Knight ready to go as well. So, for that reason, I feel like it's pretty safe to go ahead and do that. And oftentimes with this Golem deck, you don't even want to play your Golem until double, or I don't want to say triple elixir, because almost always you're going to want to have a Golem push going by double, because you don't want to wait too long. But very rarely you want to be going in for Golems in single elixir, because it's just too aggressive. And the only Golem deck where you want to be doing that typically is if you're running a Golem Night Witch deck. That's one that's a little bit more offensive. But when you have the E-Drag and the Evo Knight, you have a very defensive Golem deck. So you definitely want to be going in for counter pushes primarily, or waiting until you have a really big elixir lead, which you are kind of seeing right now. When we had all those pumps down, we just gained so much elixir over him, and there's just no way he's able to defend this Golem push. I think he knew that too, which is why he decided to go all out in the other lane, and that didn't end up working out. And this should most likely be GG here. I don't really see him defending this Golem push over there, and just like that, we are going to get the win here. So nice and easy game one. Typically how I like to start out my grand challenges, I try to, I like to win the first few games, get a good lead going, because usually the first few games are going to be the easiest compared to the games early on. So we definitely take these, and we still have 11 more to go, so long way to go. Let's get into the second one. We're against Edwin here. Alright, so let's see what our starting hand's looking like. We do have Pump as our next card. So after we play one card, we have Pump ready to go, which is really nice. It's kind of annoying when Pump is your last card, because then it just means oftentimes you're not going to be able to play it for a very long time, which can sometimes be annoying when it's a matchup where you want to be using it. Now, we're against Elixir Collector. Let me tell you, when you are against Elixir Collector, you can't use your Pump that often. It's a direct counter to it, so that's kind of unfortunate to see. With that being said, though, a lot of the Elixir Collector decks you can beat, especially if they don't have a lot of high DPS cards. So, for example, the Golem actually does quite good against the Archer Queen, because it just tanks for everything, and then you can kind of play your E-Drag behind and your Lumberjack, and just have a very hard time taking it out sometimes. So we're just gonna, oh wow, I just misclicked the NATO. That's just, wow. I can't believe I just did that. I think the Ice Spirit actually kind of pushed the Hog to the side, but still, that was a very costly mistake. I seriously cannot believe I just did that. We're gonna have to focus up the rest of the game here. That was, wow, yeah, I can't believe I did that, actually. I'm gonna wait for him. I might Golem. I'm going to Golem into the Queen. This is one of these rare times where I'm going to get a Golem push going in single. Part of the reason, too, is because he has a direct counter to the Collector, so I'm kind of forced to get my Golem pushes going, because I'm just not going to be able to get a good Elixir lead over him. That's probably best way to put it. We're going to get a lumberjack down. It is going to target the queen, which is exactly what I wanted. And actually, he didn't even get the ability off. And I also think that hog in the other lane was pretty bad as well. So we might have managed to recover very nicely despite us, you know, making that really massive mistake, misclicking the tornado. I'm going to go for the ability here. And he is going to get the cannon down, which takes out the little prince, but the guardian gets quite a lot of damage on the tower, so that was really nice. We kind of made a really nice comeback. We got the king activated, and we kind of forced him to defend very strangely. I'm going to golem up here. I think it's worth it. We have the Evo Knight down, and the queen isn't even a good counter at all to the Evo Knight, so we also got that going for us. He's going to have to Giant Skelly for sure. So, yeah, here we go. Hopefully that lumberjack, yeah, does go for the queen. He does get the Giant Skelly down, but this is a really massive push that he has to deal with. I don't know if he is going to be able to defend, actually. You can maybe get a NATO going to pull that queen in so the little prince can take her out a little easier. And then we're going to go for a knight here and then go E-drag. And I feel like this should be GG. He's getting overwhelmed here, and yeah, it's going to be a nice win. I did miss the tornado. That was, yeah, sorry you guys had to see that. That was a little bit... Woof, that was a little pathetic, missing that NATO, but, you know, we redeemed ourselves really nicely, we bounced back, and that's kind of exactly what I was saying. Even when they have the Earthquake, oftentimes if it's in a hog deck, especially if they don't have Firecracker, you're going to be able to break through anyway. Now, when they're using the Firecracker, that's when it can be harder, because the Firecracker, they can stack those. The queens can't be stacked, so once she's locked on the Golem, kind of stuck on the golem, and then all the cards behind gets loads of value. But the Firecracker, you can get like 2 of them down at once, space them out, so then the NATO can't even pull them all together, and that's when you have a little bit of an issue. Hog Firecracker, but Hog Queen, not that bad. So this guy's going to be running Lava. Lava generally, I don't want to jinx it, but Lava usually is a solid matchup for Golem, especially with the E-Drag. The E-Drag just... It's like only 1 air counter, but the E-Drag alone just defends, I feel like, all the air cards. Just deals with everything you need. Now, we're going to get a NATO going because we need to keep this E-Drag alive, and that was really nice. That balloon isn't really going to do anything because we're going to get a little prince down to ensure that. And his best bet actually would have been ignoring the lumberjack to maybe get some spell going on that E-Drag to maybe get the balloon to the tower, but he opted to go for the defense, and now we can get the knight in front. And he might go for his barb, so what I'm probably going to do is... I'm going to use my guardian anyway. Okay, yeah, with him using the ability, there's no way he's going to be able to afford the barbarians, so at least not right away. If he plays them last second, then I'll just... Okay, well, that's even better. Now we can pump up. We're up elixir, so literally when I played that elixir collector, I was already up elixir, but now we're going to have an even larger elixir lead because of the pump being down. So we're just in an incredible position right now. Good matchup as well, I would say. So just solid stuff. Can't complain. We're going to golem up here, this massive elixir lead, and we're going to try to get a push going. So here we go. Here we go. Hello, Governor. Are you here? Did he give up? Oh, no. He was just that low in elixir. I feel like, though, I could be wrong. That was a long time. I want to say he was leaking. There's no way that... I don't know. I don't know. He might have been lower than I thought, but I thought because I played the pump and that's 6, he would have been able to play something before I did, but I was wrong, I guess. And now we got our Evo Knight going. Can't believe the Evo Knight didn't get nerfed. That's kind of wild. Wasn't even one of the options in the balance changes to be voted for and getting a nerf, which is quite surprising, but is what it is, I guess. Probably in next time around it'll get one, I imagine. We're going to go for the E-Drag here. We're going to pop the ability, I guess. I don't know. I guess this guy just straight up gave up, probably. Yeah, he did. He gave up. Just going to get a nice 3 crown. I don't blame him, because he definitely wasn't going to come back in that situation. Or maybe his connection was just kind of wacky throughout the match, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. I doubt he was down that much in elixir. I do think maybe he might have been lagging a bit. I could be wrong. I don't know. But also, if you guys are enjoying the video, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more, you know, Grand Challenge videos or just ladder videos, or just I make some discussion videos in general, just Clash Royale content. If you guys want to see more of it, feel free to sub. You don't have to, only if you want. But about 70% of people who watch me, 70% of my watch time actually comes from non-subscribers. So might be more than what you guys would have expected. So really would appreciate it. Anyway, let's focus up here. This guy's got the Archer Queen. I saw he had a Classic Challenge badge, so this guy, definitely no joke, definitely knows how to play the game. Now, Classic Challenge, a lot of you guys watching the video might have Classic Challenge wins, because I assume people who watch my videos certainly better than the average player. And let me tell you, the average player has not won a Classic Challenge. So if you have won a Classic Challenge, that is a pretty notable achievement. I don't want you guys to forget that just because this is a Grand Challenge, thinking that Classics are just, I don't know, they're completely meaningless, because the average player in this game probably hasn't even gotten 6 wins in a Classic. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. We're going to go for an E-Drag here. And that's why I always say, before you play a Grand Challenge, I would highly recommend playing a Classic Challenge and getting a 12-win Classic before you do end up playing the Grand Challenge. And the reason for that is Classic Challenges are easier. They're not easy in the grand scheme of things, because the average player can't win one, but just in good preparation, being ready to play a Grand Challenge, I would highly recommend having a Classic Challenge win under your belt, or even potentially a few of them. But that's just my advice for those of you guys out there trying to win a Grand Challenge. So I'm just gonna Golem up here. Even though we pretty much have the left lane, in this deck, you notice how there's no big spell. That's one thing that can kind of cost you some games. It's something you have to be a little mindful of, where you have to really make sure you're getting the tower. So I can't really go Golem in the other lane because I don't have the left tower yet. It doesn't make sense to just cycle NATOs. Now, we do have the win here. I'm kind of glad we had a good start, because I do think E-Giant can sometimes be a pretty challenging matchup. You can go for the defensive Elixir Collector, though. Against E-Giant, it can be a pretty useful tool if your cycle isn't great for taking it out. And in our deck anyway, E-Giant, we don't have a lot of good counters to it, so the pump, oftentimes you are going to kind of have to use that when you get in a pickle, and you just don't have enough DPS for it. Probably your best bet defending it is stuff like the Lumberjack and then the Little Prince and then pop in the ability, but I think oftentimes you got to use a defensive collector when defending it. Just like that, we're already a third of the way through the challenge, so far things are going pretty good. Oh, this guy actually has a Classic as well as a Grand Challenge badge. So this guy is a very decent player. He's got the Grand Challenge badge. So I'm going to chill for a couple seconds here. If he doesn't do anything, I'll probably just start off with a Bar Barrel. That should be okay and safe enough. And he's going to go for a Night Witch. So this guy might actually be running a different Golem variation. We'll see how we fare against Golem Night Witch. This should be pretty interesting. Depending on what he does here, I might just go for my Collector. Even if he doesn't do anything, I might Collector. Yeah, that was actually perfect timing because he played the E-Drag, so I'm really happy with that. I think that was a perfect time to go for a pump. And I'll probably... Oh, he's using E-Golem. Okay. I was not expecting that at all. I'm going to get a Bar Barrel going here, and I'm hoping that we can deal with this. This is like a little scary, but we might be fine. I don't know. Instead of NATOing, I want to get a Little Prince down because it actually gives counter push. A NATO doesn't give counter push, so ideally, if all possible, you don't want to use a spell when defending if you can help it. Sometimes you can't, but it's kind of a good, nice little tip for you all. That was really clutch, the Little Prince stayed alive. This is really nice, actually. That counter push was clutch. I was a little scared with how much damage he got, but this is the beauty of the pump. Whenever you're playing against a deck that doesn't have a spell for the Elixir Collector, it never fails to get value. It really doesn't, because the Elixir lead you get is ridiculous. I'm going to go for a Bar Barrel here. We don't want to... I'm actually going to go in, like, honestly, just go opposite lane of this E-Golem, and then probably just defend with an E-Drag. I feel like that's decent. He is going to go for the Barbs, but we're going to send in the Guardian here, and I'm just going to defend with an E-Drag. I feel like we should be chilling here. Yeah, that just killed all that, and he still probably has to deal with the Evo Knight. Maybe not, but he's going to take a lot of damage if he doesn't. And then we just go Lumberjack here, and we're completely fine. We're just going to get a ton of Elixir from all this, and we can actually Collector again. At this point in the game, I don't even know if... I actually want to get a Little Prince down in this lane, because I still feel like he wants to commit to the... I feel like he would want to go for the left lane. I could be wrong, but... He just has all the damage, so I'd be a little surprised if he... Let's see, though. We're going to get a NATO going here. And then we're going to use the Little Prince ability. I feel like he's going to have to get something down. The Little Prince is still on the tower. Yeah, we're completely chilling here. The Elixir lead we had was just ridiculous. He gave the good game. Give him the good game, even though Golem's pretty toxic. I respect that he's still throwing in the good sportsmanship. So, pretty quick game so far, even though sometimes Golem can be a slow deck. Sometimes all you need is that Elixir lead, and you can end up winning early on. So we're almost halfway through now. If we win this, we'll officially be halfway. So let's try to make it happen. Get to 6-0, which is a really nice start, of course, to the challenge. So he's going to log. I'm going to bar barrel. I actually could have probably gone knight first play. I don't think it really would have mattered that much, but it's all right. So log and Tesla, it probably either means it's hog or expo. If he has expo, this should be I'd imagine, a pretty good matchup for me because we have a lot of tanks, but he's got a little prince, so I don't know. Like, I actually don't know if this is expo or not. I'm going to golem here, though, and he's got a P.E.K.K.A. Oh, no. He has P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. Wow, Tesla. That's probably not a great sign. I'm going to go for the E-Drag here, and let's see what spells he's got. That's really going to kind of, I feel like, dictate. Oh no, P.E.K.K.A. Xe. This is a brutal matchup. I can't lie, guys. This is a really brutal matchup, but we'll see what we can do. I really need this E-Drag to stay alive, ideally. Well, that's not going to happen because he went for a Tesla. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of rough. I don't even know what his win condition is, but I just already can tell this is not gonna be fun. Like, when you're playing against... Yeah, I don't know, man. This is... I'm not going to use the ability here. I want to see what he does. Okay, he's going to go knight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what his win condition is. I'm so lost right now. I think at this point, I might just go collector. I don't know if it's a bad idea ignoring the knight, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I think we have to collector. He's going to go a little... So, the good news is he doesn't have a spell. So the collectors are going to get a lot of value, that's for sure. Okay, he's going to go P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge. Wow. Let's get a bar barrel going here. And then get a lumberjack. Nice, we killed a little prince. That was really clutch. Okay, I actually think he screwed up a little bit going for that P.E.K.K.A. like that. I'm actually going to pump up again. I think the only way we're going to break through is if we have just a massive, massive elixir advantage. Like, we really do need to have 2 pumps down to win this, for sure. And even then, I don't even know if we're going to. Because this guy literally, like, look at how many defenses he has. He has Tesla, Xe, P.E.K.K.A. Like, I mean, this guy just does not like Golem. Or any beatdown deck, for that matter. I'm going to NATO that in, and then we're going to get a bar barrel going. And we'll see if we can make something happen with this. I mean, maybe we can. We get a knight down and a lumberjack, and then if he goes Xe, maybe we NATO that in, potentially. Boom, get that NATO'd in, and then we pop our little prince ability. Even with all that, though, we are out here struggling to break through. His defense is, like I said, just ridiculous. I still don't even know if this guy has a win condition or not. That's the funniest part out of all this. He literally has not revealed like a single win condition. He's just had a bunch of... Okay, so he arrowed that. Arrows, so he probably doesn't have a win condition. That's the one good thing we got going for us. Like, if I can somehow, some way, get enough damage to just, like, get the, just, like, get my stuff through somehow. If I can do that, maybe, just maybe, we can win. I guess that's the name of the game, though. I did a great job explaining that, finding a good way to get the stuff through. I mean, even though that's kind of how it is in every game, but we are struggling out here. Literally, like I said, the one good thing I got going for me is the fact that he just doesn't have a win condition. So if he doesn't break through, he's kind of out of luck. We do have the lead, but I'm kind of scared about him. He's got arrows, so something to keep in mind. I'm going to just NATO that, I think. There we go. The NATO's going to give me a bit of a lead. I'm worried about him arrow cycling, though. If he's smart, he will do that, I feel like. Alright, well, I just NATO'd, so he's going to have to start arrow cycling, I think. Otherwise, oh, well, he's got the log as well, so... We could get the E-Drag to connect. If we could do that, that's another way we could actually win this as well. Come on now. Oh, he used the log on defense. I think we got it. What a game, man. What a game. Wow. That was... I don't know, man. That was one of the weirdest matches I've had in a while. That was just weird. He had no win condition, but at the same time, it was so stressful because his defense was just so rough to break through. We're halfway through, though. We definitely had to work for that. Wow. Yeah. That was quite the deck. That's that's all I have to say. P.E.K.K.A, Executioner, Tesla, NATO. Man. Man, oh man. Wow. Yeah. If he had a win condition, we would have been screwed. That's all I have to say. Like, if he had a graveyard, forget it. That would have been a fat L. Speaking of graveyard, we might be against that right now, considering this guy does have the Baby Drag and the Little Prince. So it's probably a graveyard or some sort of beatdown deck over here. Well, I guess I'm going to go for an Elixir Collector. Seems like a pretty decent time to do that. And he's going to poison. So he is going to be using graveyard. This should be interesting. This might actually be a fairly decent time to Golem, because we are going to have a little bit of an Elixir lead with the pump. And if he decides to graveyard, we have a... I was going to say, we do have a Bar Barrel in cycle, so I'm not too worried. I have to say, I am not too worried. We take some damage, but now he's got to defend, which of course is probably going to be a little tricky for him, I'd imagine. Maybe not. Well, yeah, it is going to be a little tricky because we're going to have our ability now, and he doesn't have his Tombstone in hand or anything good, and there we go. It's exactly what I was saying. I had a feeling the Golem was going to be pretty good because he went in for the graveyard, and it seemed like it's a good play on paper, but the problem is, it's usually not good to do that when the Golem player golemed up when they had an Elixir advantage, which I did have. I did have a small one because of the pump. That poison basically gave me 1 elixir. That's why the pump is pretty OP. Against any spell that isn't an earthquake, for the most part. Because you're always going to get value, no matter what. So, that's kind of why a lot of people hate the pump. And just like that, we are already 7-0. We are making some good progress here. Only 5 more to go. Alright, in our next one here. So, Evo Knight is in our starting hand. I think we'll just go ahead and start things off with that. Even though Golem, you do typically want to wait a bit. I kind of have no problem starting with a Knight. I really just don't think it's that risky of a play, and then you're getting to that evolved one quicker. I'm going to go Little Prince at the bridge here, and then from there we'll kind of see what he wants to do. That's a Guardian, I'd say. Not sure if that was really worth it, but I think it's okay, because I'll just go for an E-Drag here. If he decides to, alright, I'll just go Lumberjack in this case. If he was going to go Graveyard, I would have had my E-Drag good and ready, that's for sure. So, ooh, Archer Queen. I'm going to Golem up here, actually. I was not expecting an Archer Queen. I do think this is still Graveyard, though. See, that's a good Golem, because even though it's an 8 for 6 trade, but the Golem is still alive, right? So it's pretty valuable, in my mind. It's an 8 for 6 trade, but the Golem lives, so. Let's get the King activated here. I think he might. Oh, he didn't go for it. Oh, there we go. He did get the activation. Well, it's a bit unfortunate, but. Wow. He accidentally poisoned the, Holy moly. I really wanted the Evo Knight to be in that lane, supporting everything. I hope I don't regret that. I think... Oh, we got him. That NATO was good. Maybe. Maybe? Question mark? Ugh. I don't know. I feel like that kind of sucked, honestly. No, this is going to be an interesting situation, that's for sure. So he is going to defend, actually. I was expecting him to try to go in. Well, and he did. He did try to go in, that's for sure. That was a good NATO. Oh! Was lined up on the tower. That changed though, sadly. Get a knight going here on defense. And then I'd say we golem up here. Spent a lot defending. We have the knight coming in, so that'll help out. And then we do have the king activated, so... Hoping that's not too much damage. It is not. That's good. So let's try to get some pressure going here. He's going baby drag. He kind of messed that up. E-drag is making a beeline towards the tower. And just like that, I think we might have gotten ourselves a win here in a matchup that I would say is not that easy. But that king activation certainly helped us out. I am not complaining. So that is going to be a very nice win over there. Splash Yard is probably one of the... I do want to say Splash Yard probably is one of the most challenging matchups for Golem, but when he accidentally gave us that, you know, free king activation, that just made defending the graveyard so much easier. To be fair, I didn't play that perfect myself. I feel like I could have played just a little cleaner. I'm not saying I played bad, because I ended up winning, but I think, especially with the activation, there were some... I could have played that a little better, and won with, like, more of a lead. But normally that would be probably an L without the activation, so that's something to keep in mind. This guy did decide to go recruits first play of the game, which is quite interesting. I could try to punish him a bit and like get more counter push with the Little Prince, like going for a Bar Barrel, but I just don't really know if it's worth it. I think we just pump up here. There's no need to do anything crazy. Again, you typically want to play this deck pretty passively, so he's gonna go in here. I'm trying to think of the best way to defend this, and I'm thinking like... Yeah, that works. I mean, it hit the pump, but, like, we're still gonna get the activation, so... I mean, that's not really... That's not bad, I guess. The annoying thing, though, is... He has, I don't know. This is a little annoying. He has a lot of, I don't know. Like, what am I trying to say? He's got, the Fisherman, which is always not the most fun thing in the world when you got something like a Golem, but Evo Knight hopefully can come in clutch here a little bit. I don't know, though. I'm not really liking how this is going so far. I mean, we got our E-Drag in hand, so I guess he can't really punish with a balloon, but I don't know. This is just kind of not really... I think I can't Golem. I gotta try to build an Elixir lead. That's the one good thing I got going for me right now. He doesn't have anything for the pump, so that's really nice. I gotta try to NATO that back, I guess. Oh, the Fisherman. Alright, yeah, our only way to win this, I think, is getting an Elixir lead. I kind of realized that. I just have to stack pumps. I don't think there's any way. I don't see myself winning other than doing that. Let's see what we can do here. This might actually be a pretty good Golem opportunity. That might be the only one we get. Yeah, this might be good. We might have something cooking here. There we go. There we go. That's all it took. Sometimes, guys, patience is what you need with this deck. One golem push, and that's all we needed. It's all we needed. We're 9-0 now. Really good stuff. All right. Well, this guy's got a top 200 Royal Tournament finish, so pretty good player. Yeah, that was solid. That was probably the nicest win we've had so far in the challenge. I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to be able to get the 12. I'd love to get the 12-0, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So we'll just go for a barbell here on the Ice Spirit and see how he wants to respond to that. He's going to have the guards. Guards are pretty good now, I have to say. All right, well, that's going to be a nice king activation for us. So I'm already really liking the start. King activated here against what looks like probably some sort of minor cycle deck, maybe Mortar. We're going to pump up here. His miner's out of cycle. He might pressure with something, or he might poison the pump. But he just cycled a log right when he played that poison. So that means he just spent 6 elixir, and we're going to get 1 back from the pump. So with that in mind, really good time to go Golem here, because we're about to get 1 elixir from that pump. And I don't really think he can punish us. He's going to have to defend. So there we go. You see the little prince come in, and I'm kind of liking this start already. King activation, and it's really good when you have a good single elixir with Golem and you don't take very much damage or anything like that. So he's going to go for the ability, but I don't think that's going to help him out all that much because the E-Drag is just going to chain everything. And now we can probably go in for a Knight and keep up our pressure here. Actually, I kind of am tempted to see if he decides to go for a poison or something, because then we could actually get a pump going again. But I think in any case, I think I'm going to pump anyway. Because he might try to go for a miner, which likely I can catch. And even if I don't catch it, oh, well, that's actually even better, because now that's an overcommitment. He just spent 7. And obviously, like I said, with the pump, still going to get elixir from it. I'm going to get 2 more from it. 1, and then boop, dies, and then there we go. Boom, let's Golem up again. Alright, really good stuff. And the Knight will also get a hit or 2 on the tower if he doesn't do anything. And, yep. I think I can say for a fact we pretty much already won, because now we're in double elixir. We already have a good lead, and Golem obviously shines in double anyway, and with us already having the lead going into double, things are just not looking good for a new legend over here. So, really happy with the current situation. We're going to get a old prince going here. We're going to get a NATO, try to pull everything together, and let's get the ability going. I might as well. Really nice stuff over here, and I think now I'm just gonna... At this point now, we can Golem up again and chill. We don't need to keep spamming, because now he still has to deal with the Guardian, and we got now just another Golem push coming in. And his Evo Mortar's out of rotation, so it's going to be pretty difficult, I'd say, for him to defend this next Golem push. We'll see if he can pull it off, though. I feel like it's inevitable that we're going to win this match, because even if we don't take the tower here, I feel like... The problem with his situation right now is he has a lot of damage he has to make up. So he has to get a ton of damage and defend simultaneously, basically, which is not an easy task. He has to do both. If he only had to focus on defense, you know, he could stay alive maybe. But the comeback, just getting that damage he needs, is where I just really think there's going to be a bit of a struggle. The only way I see that happening is maybe the Evo Mortar, but even then, I think it's going to be tough. Just got to get a Golem down here, and it's kind of going to tank for everything, so I really do think we're chilling. He might get, like, 1 mortar shot on the tower, but I don't think that's it's the end of the world, and actually the Evo Mortar stayed locked on the Knight, it looked like, so that was really clutch, and... just like that, we're chilling, because now he's still a while away from the Evo Mortar. And like I said, the Evo Mortar is the only thing that's scary. I feel like that regular mortar just has less health. It's much easier to deal with, doesn't shoot as fast, so really no issues there. We're just going to Golem up here, and I think we got this one. Should be a wrap, I'd say. We're just going to Bar Barrel here. We can let that mortar lock on the tower. That's not the... Oh, it didn't even lock on. See, it's just so difficult for people to get a mortar lock in... triple elixir. It's like you can't really get one to save your life. It's tricky. And yeah, that's it. That's going to be game. I feel like really the only way we would have struggled would have been if we had a lot harder of a single elixir. I think us getting that king activation early on was, I wouldn't say it was already the nail in the coffin for him, but it certainly, it already put us in a really good situation, because then, you know, they always have to send the miner in the safe spot, otherwise the king tower is going to help out against it, and I don't know, it just always, it's nice to get started on the right foot, basically, with your king activated. So we're against this Japanese player here. We're 10-0, really cruising along here. Maybe we can go undefeated, but at this point I'm fairly confident we're going to get the 12 no matter what. I'd really have to choke to lose 3 games before I win 2. In grand challenges, at least. I typically... It does happen, you know, but it's rare. It's rare. So hopefully I don't jinx it. We're going to go E-Drag here. Recruit's first play seems like a pretty popular starting play. It's a little annoying. I will say it is a bit annoying. So that Fisherman went to complete waste there. It's kind of a shame I don't have my... Oh, wow. Okay, well, I did not expect him to do that. I did that because I didn't want him to get an easy king activation against the... Well, actually, we ended up getting more damage than that Loon got. I'm going to do this just to apply some pressure, and then I'm actually going to use the ability over here, and that worked out really nicely. Now, if the Little Prince stayed alive, that would have been even nicer, but that was, wow, really good. Really good stuff over there. So we're against this Balloon deck again. Same one I was against before, and we already have an incredible start. Didn't even need to play a Golem yet. So I'd say let's just pump up, and if he decides to pressure, let's actually pump here, because he might want to go all in and try to take this tower. And if he does that, I'll just counter push off of it and take his. So it's really no worries to me. I just feel like we're kind of chilling here because we just had a really good start. So could be wrong, but I do really like the start we hit. Let's try to get rid of that Little Prince ASAP. Oh, wow, that got retargeted. That was really clutch. I don't even know how that happened, but the Little Prince somehow... I don't know how to explain it, but basically it was... I don't know how it stopped shooting the E-Drag. The Barbaro pushed it, I guess, but that was just kind of nuts. I was not expecting that to happen at all. We're going to E-Drag here, and wow, he's just going all in. I'm going to get a NATO going here. Boom. And the arrows, I think he literally missed the Little Prince. So I'm going to Golem up here. It's a great time to do that because we have that there, so we can't push right away. And the thing is, we have so much more elixir than him that I'm confident I can just defend with an E-Drag in the other lane anyway. And we'll be completely fine. I don't even know how he's going to defend this, so let's just see what happens, I guess. Got another Golem coming in. Got a Lumberjack coming in as well. Well, the only chance he has is going for a Fisherman, because those recruits are not going to do the DPS he's looking for. And just like that, we are now 11-0. We are one away from getting the desired undefeated 12-0. Really good stuff. Alright, here we go. So, potentially for the 12-0 here, this guy does have some good achievements. I think that was a 218 ladder finish, so definitely got our work cut out for us in this one, I'd say. We're going to go Knight, same lane as the Ghost. So, Ghost probably means there's a very high chance this is a bridge spam deck. We see he's got Little Prince as well. I guess I'll cycle my E-Drag, same lane. This could be something like, I don't know, could even be a P.E.K.K.A deck, actually. Yeah, we do see he's got the Bandit, so... Alright, let's see here. It would be kind of nice to get the King activated, but at the same time, want to be a little cautious. Let's, yeah, get the King activated. It's going to help us out a lot against P.E.K.K.A. I definitely think it is worth it to do that. We're going to get a Little Prince going here. I will say we are going to have to hold off on the Elixir Collector. I got to wait for a good opportunity to do that. So I go for the Little Prince ability there to push back the Battle Ram. He's got the Evo Archers, as expected. Yeah, I don't know. Now could be a pretty good time to Collector because he doesn't have his, well, let's see here. Might maybe want to get something down for that Ghost first. Yeah, it's tough to get a Collector off in this match, isn't it? Could get one going now, though. I don't know if it's a little risky. I think I'm just going to go for it, though. He might go in. No, he actually fireballs. Okay, well that's perfect, because I thought maybe he was going to punish me, and I was going to be a little scared of what he was going to do, but he just fireballed, so makes things simple enough for me. Alright, he's going to go for the bandit. I guess I'll just Little Prince same lane, and then E-Drag if he decides to go for a battle ram. Don't know what this matchup is exactly. I can't imagine it's super easy, but at the same time I don't think it's super hard, because the E-Drag will get me a fair amount of value. I'm pretty sure about that. I am going to let that Ghost lock on and get some damage. I think it's for the greater good. And then we're going to pump up here. And then depending on what he does, it's kind of going to dictate what we want to do from here. I think we Lumberjack here. He's going to Fireball. I would like to get a Golem down ASAP. Let's see kind of what he wants to do. I'm going to Golem here. I think it's a pretty good time. We have a little bit of an elixir lead, and I feel like it makes sense to do it now. Wow, all that is coming in the other lane. That was a little... Alright, well, we're not going to be able to defend, so we are going to have to hopefully make sure he doesn't 3-crown us with those Evo archers. I don't think he will. It's going to deal a lot of damage, though, that's for sure. We're going to get a Golem down in the pocket. Boom, it's tanking for everything. E-Drag's still up, and wow, this is actually looking really good for us. We might actually be able to either get a 3-crown or the 2-crown with this counter push. And that would mean we will get 12-0 in this Grand Challenge, going undefeated, which of course is a great feeling. I mean, you don't get any more rewards for it. I guess you suppose you get bragging rights, but, you know, I don't need to brag. No point in that. Although, I guess, you know, could brag to you guys watching the video, but let's you know, stay humble. Open up the chest here. Getting close to getting more and more cards upgraded to level 15, which is nice. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thanks again until next time. Give this Golem deck a try, definitely pretty good.